Good afternoon, or I should say good morning. How is everyone? Yay! How are the students? Well, thank everyone for coming to help us celebrate the end of classes for our culinary arts students. Let me just start by introducing the folks that are joining me up here on the platform. We have our guest speaker, Edward Leonard. Former President, Southwestern President Stephen Critobaugh. Our chefs, Tom Roberts. Nelda Duvall. Wu J. Pointner. And Tina Powers. We also have the Executive Director of OCCI, Sean Hanlon. We have Vice President of Administrative Services, Linda Critobaugh. And Vice President of Instruction, Valerie Martinez. And two people who are out in the lobby helping organize this event, who help the students get to where they're at today. Jamie Cook. And Kristen Kresge. So again, I would just like to welcome you here today to help us celebrate. This is a journey that we've been on with Oregon Coast Culinary Institute, and every year it gets better and better, and we grow and grow, and it's just awesome to see the number of students sitting behind me today that are at this stage of their program, finishing their coursework, now ready to go off to complete their internship so that they can complete their degree. So those of you who are here to support one of our soon-to-be graduates, I hope that you keep on them to keep at finishing whatever it is they have yet to complete so that they can join us on stage next June for the graduation where they will receive their actual diploma from Southwestern. So this is an early celebration for the work that they've done. They joined us last September as brand new students. You guys remember that day? When they all showed up and they got their uniforms and they got their knives and they started cooking or baking, and some came with lots of skill and some came with probably not very much skill. Is that a good assessment? Yeah. And now they're ready to go out and cook 4, 5, 6-course meals. And hopefully some of you have benefited from their skill. I see some heads nodding out there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the activities over to Chef Hanlon to proceed with our agenda. And again, thanks for coming, and we're really glad that you've supported your student, and we look forward to you celebrating with us for the rest of the day and through until next June when you come back when they receive their official diploma. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. One thing I'd like to ask right from the beginning is we have a celebration again over at OCCI after this event. And since we're having some great hors d'oeuvres that our students created, and they're all behind me, walk slow over to OCCI because it's going to take us a few minutes to run over there and get everything out. So please just give us a few minutes. Just walk slow. Enjoy the beautiful summer weather here on the South Coast. I am honored right now to introduce our guest speaker. Chef Leonard is a very close friend of mine. We were on the 1992 New York culinary team together. That's where I met him, and he has been my mentor ever since. He was the captain and manager for the last 3 U.S. culinary teams and is known around the world as a consummate professional. Please welcome him and his great words.
Okay, good afternoon. Morning. Yep, good afternoon. I'm still on New York time. I'm going to be a little unconventional on this. I've done a few commencement addresses, and for some reason, as Sean said, he wanted me to come and have a chance to speak to his graduating class and the students, but yet they're always set up where you have a podium and your back is to the people you should be talking to. So I'm going to move over here a bit because I would like to address the future culinarians and look at them and not have my back towards them. So I hope you don't mind that. This is their day. Okay. This way I make sure you're paying attention as well, and not sleeping on me. So graduates, you're starting your culinary journey during very interesting times. You have the distinction of training for your career when a few years ago the mother of modern cooking, Julia Child, passed away. And she truly was the epitome of what a star chef is. You have the distinction of training to be a cook while our economy has really changed the way restaurants, hotels, and the food service industry is thinking and how they will do business in the future, because it's never going to be the same as it was in the past. You have the distinction of going to a culinary school while we're at war or constantly under threat. That also changes our food, it changes the economy, and changes what we've been known to know as comfort food. It seems to come back during harder times. You have the distinction of working towards a culinary degree when you read the newspapers and the news and you've seen contamination of food products being pulled constantly, people getting sick, issues and problems from mad cow to everything that really were other countries' issues are now on our soil. And it's a challenge for those who cook today and tomorrow to help address that and solve those issues. You have the distinction of learning a prestigious trade when shows like Top Chef, Hell's Kitchen are as popular and rival other TV shows, but yet at the same time give a perception of our business that necessarily isn't true or on the better side of what we do. You have the distinction of embarking on a career when so many people have taken interest in what we do. So many people watch the Food Network, go on the internet, look at culinary programs, read cookbooks by the thousands, and yet very few of them ever take the time to cook at home from scratch. You have the distinction of graduating and following your dream of cooking, while various choices of the profession have never been greater. Supermarket chefs, R&D chefs, personal chefs, even the fast food chains such as McDonald's and such have corporate chefs now helping develop their menus and try to keep them nutritionally sound and do the things that they should be responsible for. You now have more choices than ever before in your career field. You have the distinction of entering a workforce when American cuisine is now looked upon the cuisine as which cuisine should be judged. American chefs have come a long way. There's been many chefs before you, before my time, that have brought that distinction finally to this country, that we don't open cans and just mix food up with water, that we actually cook, and we now lead the way. You are most likely to attend class with the greatest female to male ratio students of all times. When I look past pictures of culinary schools from CIA and such when they first started, it was amazing. There was hardly a woman in any of those pictures. I look out today and that ratio is very strong, and that is very good. The diversity of people, the diversity of ethnicity, and diversity of females, which makes this business great. And I've always been one to welcome that, and I think it's very important, and you should embrace it as well. You take your first steps as a trained cook at a time when being a chef has probably never been more popular, and society perhaps shows some respect and looks upon a chef as an esteemed position. Some cases compare themselves to rock stars. However, behind the scenes, what it takes to get there and what it really sacrifices you will need to make it to that level really aren't shown on TV or anywhere else. It will take sacrifice, it will take dedication, and a lot of perseverance. I've been around long enough to see significant changes in our industry. One of the biggest is how the industry regards graduates. Many years ago, culinary students were yanked out of school and given positions as chefs, sous chefs, executive chefs. You've had some basic training, but understand the reality of it is it's basic training. You're now set upon a path and a journey to really start learning. Your education just begins when you leave school, not during school. Do not take a title too soon. Do not let people talk you into doing things that may sound attractive at the time. We live in a society where everybody wants money, fame, fortune yesterday, not tomorrow. But in our business, that kind of success becomes short-term lived and dies very quickly. Pay the dues, find the right chef to work with, travel, learn, and invest in the foundation for your future. The philosophy of how you stay in cooking has changed dramatically over 20 years too. Longevity really does go a long way. How you perceive yourself, the path that you take, and the plan you lay out is going to be important. I'm not sure how many here have a 3 or 5 year plan written on paper, in their computer, in their iPod, whatever device you use. If you do not have that, take the time to sit down and develop where you want to be and where you're going to go. Because if you don't have a route to get there, if you don't have a journey to start with an end, how are you going to get anywhere? It's nice to look at chefs that have been accomplished. It's nice to read about what the magazines write, the TV shows will show you. But somebody along the way, from Emerald to everybody, paid a price, sacrificed, worked hard, and had a plan of where they were going. Learning is important, and how you learn is going to be essential. And a lot of people will go to job, and every 3 months say, well, I was learning, so I worked there for 3 months, there for 3 months. It's important not to let grass grow under your feet, but at the same time, show some commitment, show some ability to really learn and study a kitchen. Because if you pick the right operation to work in, if you pick the right chef to train under, then 3 months is not going to be enough time to learn what you need to learn. So show that balance. If you could travel, spend time dining out, do the things that it takes to learn everything about food that you can possibly learn. It's very important where you work. And a lot of times we don't take the time to follow a path of journey of a quality operation. We get tempted by money. We get tempted by the $15 an hour versus the $9 an hour. The advice I offer you is find a kitchen where the chef is accomplished and well respected in the culinary field. You have the internet at your hands today. You go to Google, you type in the chef's name. If nothing comes up under that name, or it says perhaps wrong keyword, we need to do more advancement on your search, then perhaps you're training under the wrong chef. Anybody that's accomplished something, has given back to the industry, has a commitment to their beliefs in cookery, is going to have done something that's on the internet. Find a kitchen where the chef is involved in outside associations or culinary groups or with the charity work of his community. Chefs that are good, chefs that are of quality also give back. They take their time to get involved with other aspects of our field, not just behind their own kitchens. Find where a kitchen is and a chef is well networked in that community. Do they take time to work with the local community colleges, the schools, maybe some charities, wherever they're located, New York, Chicago, Portland? Do they take time to get involved in their own surroundings that support their business? Find a kitchen where you're made to feel part of the team. Because you're a student, because you're a graduate, does not mean you shouldn't walk in somewhere and be part of the team and what they do. If they treat you otherwise, you don't belong in that kitchen. Find a kitchen where you receive orientation and introduction. Make sure you find a place that teaches you about that operation, makes you meet and greet all the cooks, the wait staff, anybody that belongs to the restaurant, the hotel, you are taken to and meet because you are an important part and an addition of a team that's going to perform day in and day out in a very hard task of serving people food. A kitchen where your contribution is valued. Whether you're peeling potatoes, peeling onions, tourneing, cutting vegetables, that task is important to the end result. There's no such thing as doing something that doesn't contribute to the final chapter. And make sure that you are recognized for that. Make sure it's a kitchen that's in a learning environment. An environment that's there to teach you, to grow you, to mentor you. A kitchen where there's a culture of teamwork with everybody working to make the culinary program the best it can be. It's called a culture. And you want to work in a place that has culture. You want to work in a place that has a philosophy, a belief, a mission statement, and a chef that, yes, is going to be demanding, firm but fair. But every day the objective is to put out the best food that's possible. Every day the objective is to raise the bar from the night before, to make breakfast, lunch, dinner a better experience than what was experienced the day before. That's the kind of kitchen you want. It's the kind of energy from a chef that you want to work for. Find a kitchen where you're treated with respect. Hell's Kitchen is a joke. Nobody should be made to cry. Nobody should be called names. Nobody should be demeaned to feel like 2 cents because they're trying their best at doing something they love to do. Find an environment that's other than that. Find a kitchen that has a philosophy of excellence in all areas. Excellence starts at everything, from making an omelet to cooking the finest foie gras dish you can imagine. That's what excellence is about. Our apprenticeship test have omelet making in it. It has cooking eggs in it, because if you can't make an omelet properly, how can I then expect you to cook an important wine 5-course tasting meal properly? Everything you do, you take pride in. From a hamburger to sautéing fish, there's an art, there's a skill, and you should do it the best you can do. In addition, find a mentor. That is very important. And in every successful person's life in this business, there's at least one individual who's responsible for steering or guiding that individual and opening doors for them. In my case, my mentor was a chef named Fritz Sonderschmidt, a Garde master from Germany. He's still in Hyde Park, New York, still a chef that I lean on sometimes for advice, even though now he calls me the master. But he was a big influence in my life, and no matter how good he was, no matter how many cookbooks or what he accomplished, he was always humble, and he always taught me to always remember my roots, where I started from, and where I came from, and I've never forgot that. Also, growth in many aspects of the hospitality industry. Managers, GMs, even though they're not wearing the white coat, can all be influential in your career and be mentors to you and guide you. And sometimes the jobs that you dislike the most will be the ones that you learn from the most. So welcome every opportunity you get, no matter what it is, no matter what task you're asked to do. Take it on with vigor, commitment, and passion. You may not see it at the time, but some of those skills will be very helpful for you down the road when you become successful. Have that mentor teach you things. And don't worry about repaying. There's no such thing as repaying. Those of us who have made our way in this industry have an obligation to give back to you. Any chef worth their salt, any GM worth who they are, will give back willingly, freely, without expecting anything in return. The only thing you expect is for that person to be successful. I met Sean 18 years ago. I can tell you some great stories about him, but we'll leave that for another time. His wife and family are here. I need to behave. But the only thing, Sean, that I've ever wanted to see him do was be successful. So the help, the guidance, the hard work that we put in, the traveling, and when I look at him today and what he's accomplished and what he's done, that's worth more to me than any gold medal, any award or accolade I've received. Every chef that leaves my kitchen, every student that leaves and becomes successful, to me, is the pride that I have and the pride that I've done something worthwhile in this field. Not the awards, not the money I make or anything else. It's the success of others that help make me successful. Respect the uniform of your profession. Countless people through history, the vast majority of them endured working conditions and status that today's society would never tolerate, so you can wear your whites and your toque with pride. They were tough times. Chefs and cooks were laborers. They were treated as servants, sometimes garbage. It was not a respectful profession. We paid a price. Remember, when you wear blue jeans under your chef's coat, you dishonor those who have come before you. When you wear a bandana on your head instead of a toque, you tell the world you don't inspire to be a professional chef, only a cook behind the scenes, and probably not a good one at that. When you wear hoop earrings or a ring in your nose with a chef's knife, you're missing only the parrot to resemble a pirate. Housewives, weekend barbecues, foodies, can and do purchase our attire. They pay a lot of money for our chef coats and pants to play the part of a chef. If they're dressing up, we can't afford to dress down and get them ahead of us. Throughout your life, treat everyone you serve as a VIP. Joe Baum, who was a gentleman I knew and a business advisor, was the founder of the famed Windows on the World and Rainbow Room in New York City. Long before he died, I asked him what his success was and what the key. He was a very wealthy, successful restaurateur. And he said every diner was a king, every customer a queen, and anyone who walked into his establishment was considered royalty beyond measure, no matter where they were from, who they were, what they had or did not have. He died a rich man, not only from the wealth he amassed over a lifetime of service in the hospitality industry, but rich in the shared devotion and delight of many people whose lives he touched. Remember, service, and we are in the service business, is not menial. Service is power. You can't give away something you don't own. Seek out new ideas with fervor. Read everything you can get your hands on, yet trust no source as a definitive word. Look not only at the Food Network, but the chalkboard menus of little holes in the walls or backwoods restaurants which have some incredible chefs. When I did my apprenticeship in Paris, the best restaurants I ate were not necessarily acclaimed with the big billboards. They were the little restaurants that were set up in a house with the husband and wife, the wife greeting you at the door, the husband in the kitchen cooking. And I remember going in back of those kitchens and seeing copper pots being washed because they didn't have that many pots. So they washed the pot that made the chocolate sauce because it needed to be used for the demi-glace for the next dish. Those were some of the finest restaurants and meals that I could remember, because the heart and passion put into those meals and the heart and soul of not having all the glamour really truly was worth the food. Learn from everybody and everything. Don't underestimate who you can learn from. I remember when I studied for my master's, I brought a whole pig into the kitchen. We had a couple of dishwashers from Colombia. Their eyes lit up. They grew on a farm. Their family raised pigs. They knew how to butcher, dissect that pig, and cook dishes from every part of that pig that were unknown to me. I learned from them. I asked them to help me with that pig, to show me the dishes from their country and what they did with those parts. It was a learning experience from two gentlemen that washed pots for me. You can learn from anyone if you give them the opportunity to share with you what they have. Do not degrade anybody and think because of their position or what they do, they do not contribute something. Take nothing for granted. When somebody tells you selling swordfish is immoral, do your own research. Regard a fad with a grain of salt because they come and go. Real trends stand the test of time. Look at the Caesar salad, birthed in a white tablecloth restaurant in Tijuana, made at the table side, nurtured by silver forks and people with money. But today it's on every fine dining menu, and it's as comfortable wrapped in a tortilla sold at $2.99 for people on the run. Food goes into everybody's avenue, everybody's heritage, and everybody's whatever wealth they have. Do not just jump on the bandwagons for things that are happening. Do not be sold a bill of goods that only certain food can be cooked good. If it's macaroni and cheese that you make it the best macaroni and cheese you can possibly make in the world. If it's meatloaf, you make good macaroni and cheese. You're shaking his head. If it's meatloaf, make it the best you can be. Truly, the art of a great cook is that ability to take anything from nature, from the sea, from the land, from the ground, and make it into something special that only nourishes people, but gives them pleasure. And that's really the difference. I remember when I was in Italy doing another apprenticeship in Torino, and we went to a restaurant that was run, when I went to the kitchen to meet the chef after 4 hours of dining on family-style food that just kept coming to the table, there were no chefs in that restaurant. There were 6 Italian ladies, old Italian ladies with big, strong arms, cleaning, cooking, and we talked, and I showed my appreciation for the food. And they asked where I was from. America, which always gets a nice look when you're in Europe or another country. And they said, you know the trouble with Americans? And I said, here we go again. But they said, in America, you eat to live. We live to eat. Food is their passion and their culture. Japan spends 1/3 of their disposable income on food, on cuisine. And that's the difference overseas. We're as good, we're as talented, but the respect, the passion for food for cooking really belongs to them, and that's something we still need to engulf and learn. I was telling Sean on the way here, I stopped in a small roadside bakery cafe, kind of a hole in the wall. But the chef came out, fresh baked cookies. Where was it, Sean? Elkton. I mean, fresh baked cookies, fresh breads, all made from scratch, and the pride in that gentleman. And we talked a bit because you want to know what a person from New York in a suit was doing way up in Portland. And I told him about the school, and then he said to mention to Sean that he needs help in his bakery. But the pride that that person was taking and the quality of what he made shows. That's what food is about at the end of the day. Not what big city you're from, what star restaurant you're from, but the love and passion and care that you put into what you do. You are embarking on a career at a time when no person can change the entire world. There'll never be another Julia Child. It's debatable whether there's room for another Emerald. But the greatest gift that you can give back is to make a difference in your own backyard. Shape the culinary world in which you live. Make a difference every day you step in a kitchen. Because if you don't, why did you step in it in the first place? I live that creed every day I go to work. I make a difference with someone or something I do. And I seek it out sometimes. Otherwise, my day to me has been a failure. Lead by example. Always maintain the highest standards of your profession. Have integrity. People can criticize you. They can talk about your food. They can critique your food. No one can take away your integrity. No one can take away what kind of person you are. And if you have passion for what you do and do the best you can do every day with your head up high and treat people with respect, that alone is something to be proud of. And again, something nobody ever can steal from you. And that's what's important. Lead by example. Thank you. Maintain the highest standards, earn the respect of those you work for. And you earn the respect of those you work for by what you do. Not by the initials after your name, not by the awards hanging up in your office, but what you do day in, day out, and how you interact with people. They say you're only as good as your last meal, and that's true. It really is. When I look back on my career, awards, medals, travels, the only thing that means anything to me is the relationships I built along the way, the ability that I have to travel the country and the world and get a free meal, a hotel room, because I have friends. That's what's important. 18-year friendship. The only person who can get me out here to come to this part of the country that I've never been on a moment's notice was Sean, because of a friendship. We have a lifetime of things to talk about, discuss. Last night I was in his home and we cooked together. And that was a great thing, to cook with a friend, hospitality in their home, and share the love for food. Always respect everybody you meet. You never know someday who you may work for or what role they may play in your life. I remember a lot of times coming across people. There was one chef who was really arrogant, very mean, and I worked for a British hotel company. And when I started for that company, he liked to demean a lot of people. He liked to tell people what they were never going to accomplish as he stuck his chest out. Well, at a young age of 30-something, I was made director of food and beverage and corporate executive chef for that company. Guess what chef now reported to me? Life was fun. So I will leave you with these final words. I wrote a poem. I took a take on a very famous poem called Take the Time and applied it to culinary and to what I hope you take away with you today. Because what you've accomplished, what you have trained for, is a special career. When I look at today with technology and all the problems the industry is having and places closes and the car makers folding, we still do things by hand. We still take food from the sea, from the land, preserve it, cook it, prepare it, butcher it. We have a craft like no other. You know, when I look at today of architecture, when I travel to Europe and I see the buildings and how everything was handmade and hand carved and cement, and everything's done by machines today. Even ice carvings now can be done by lasers and machines. Food is done by the hand, prepared with love and passion and from your heart. And that's really what separates the great cooks from the not so great ones, what comes from inside. So as you graduate today, I seek for you to take the time. Take the time to cook and bake from the heart with care. It is the source of why you came here. Take the time to reflect every day and have a passion for our craft in a big way. Take the time to always learn and grow. You must expand on what you already know. Take the time to truly believe in yourself and what you can do. If you do not at first, then who will? Take the time to respect the foods of our land. Besides cooking properly, it is the true secret to a great dish at hand. Take the time to treat all you meet with respect along the way. You never know when you may have to call upon them someday. Take the time to teach and share what you know. The reward back will be twofold. Take the time to make a difference in all that you do. It is a rare privilege experienced by only a few. Take the chance to do what they say can't be done. Achieving such odds is the real fun. Take the time to always be the best you can be. That is the only measure anyone should ever see. Take the time to laugh and have fun. A day is complete when this is done. Take the time to balance your life as you reach for the stars. Do not forget those who have helped from afar. For all the accolades that will come and go your way, they will mean nothing at all if there was no one there for you at the end of the day. Take the time and always be true, for the only meaning of success is really what pleases you.
Please come up.
Platters. And Tori won't ever forget the sleepless nights working on her cold competition platter because the medal she received won't let her forget. And Nick probably won't remember what grade he received on his practical final, but he will remember turning to Josh during the last one and saying, "This is what we do, son." And everything that we did had to be done on the fly. But John has trouble recollecting all of these memories that occurred with the culinary students because he spent his time in the bakery not working. And when John did grace the culinary classroom with his presence, more often than not, he was making waffles. Not that any of us complained because those waffles were amazing, especially when topped off with Megan's ice cream. Chef Robert's favorite flavor that Megan made was garlic ice cream. And even if John was missing the memories being made in culinary, there was plenty going on in the bakery. Between pie day, gingerbread houses, cake decorating, and finals. Sam was very upset with Chef Ujay one day when he ate an entire box of eggs and drank 6 gallons of milk the night before a practical final. And all he had to say for himself that he was hungry. But maybe he wasn't all that hungry, and those eggs and milk were actually used to make his Hello Kitty birthday cake that he remembers very fondly. And with almost 100 people in this school, we've had a lot of memories with birthdays this past year. Like when Chef Powers sang Happy Birthday to Jackie Beavers in the Marilyn Monroe voice. And a number of people celebrated their 21st birthday, but none of them could recollect those memories. And Andy McKinney remembers his birthday very well when he took a little road trip to Hooters where the waitresses did the Hooter Hokey dance for him. A number of road trips have been made this past year, but no trip compares to driving in the van with Chef Duvall. Every person that has had the pleasure of being in the van with Chef spoke about their trip with great enthusiasm. Chef Duvall said that when she looks back on this past year, she will always remember Danny reciting his own poetry after school, at an after-school function. Danny's a poet, guys, and none of us even knew it. But I guess that us not knowing something is better than the person not knowing. Like when Ian told everyone that John was getting married. John just didn't know it. And Anna had a surprise one day when Chef Surly, I believe she said, sent her flowers and chocolate. She still has the note that he wrote to her saying that he can't wait to be up against her face. That note still brings tears to Anna's eyes. However, those tears cannot be confused or compared with the tears Dina cried while cutting up chickens in Chef Robert's class. I'm sure that Dina's not the first or last student that Chef has made cry. And even if people cried in class, there was lots of laughter outside of class, between playing apples to apples, soccer, bowling, karaoke, and hanging out at the beach. Everyone has something to remember from this past year. Though there are dozens of other memories that I could have talked about that have been made this past year, The one that sticks with most of us is the memory of all the friends that we have made. And I know that it's cheesy, and everyone mentioned it when I asked for a memory, but asked me not to include it. No one will miss this town or being at class at 8 in the morning, but everyone will miss that someone that made this year that much better. Thank you.
A little while ago, Chef Hanlon asked me to talk to you about some of my experiences here, and but before I do, I need to express a huge debt of gratitude to my husband, because if he hadn't been behind me, I would not have been able to do what I've done this year. Last summer, I came to OCCI to take the Artisan Breads Community Education class that Chef Powers taught, and I was excited about that because I have been fortunate to have had several grandmothers who have just been phenomenal in the kitchen, and from the time I was as small as my daughter, I would look in the flour drawer and the sugar drawer and one grandma's baking table, and always loved it ever since. And that class was just a few hours long, but it definitely made a huge difference in my life. My daughter was just 11 months old at the time, and I was a stay-at-home mom forcing myself to work on an online degree that I really didn't want to do anymore. And until that time, things hadn't worked out to where I could find a job or something to do that I just really wanted to do for the rest of my life, aside from mom. I just needed something where I could have hands-on creative outlet, a little bit of my own input instead of what somebody else wanted me to do all the time. When I walked into the bakery for class that night, I instantly knew that OCCI was where I needed to be. After the class was over, I talked to Chef Powers about my situation, and she told me her story about being the same age as me, a little bit older than most of the other people, but with 3 kids rather than 1, and managing all the while to get through culinary school. After giving me some literature on the program, her parting words to me were, "See you in the fall," and I took that as a challenge. It would have been simple to have walked away from this challenge by a virtual stranger and never set foot in the building again, but I had to find a way to make it all work, and with the help of a very supportive family, I have. The first term flew by, and I was totally nervous about the 5 weeks of culinary we had coming up. I was actually kind of dreading it. After the first day in Chef Robert's class, the dread was gone. He offered me a challenge and expected results. Letting him down would have been like letting myself down, even worse. It was fun, and I learned something new every day, even though it was just 2.5 weeks. I was sure at that point that I wanted to come back for culinary next year, then switching to Chef Duvall's kitchen reaffirmed that idea. The opportunities I've had to work with Chef Hanlon at the Legislative Summit and both Chef Hanlon and Chef Wujie at the Wild Game Dinner have also been invaluable learning experiences. I've heard a lot of comments about how some people really don't like Coos Bay all that much, and the thing is, though, is that OCCI is definitely an asset. If you can look past the rain and the mild climate, we are fortunate to have been part of a program that isn't so big it's impersonal. I think that since the chefs are able to learn so much about us as individuals because of the small class sizes, they're able to teach us even better. And as a result, for the first time, baking students are returning for culinary. There's a lot of us, and many culinary students are returning for baking as well. Throughout the year, I've been fortunate enough to have some great teammates for big projects, like Anna, Sam, and Sarah for the gingerbread project. Sarah was also a stellar partner for the cake decorating projects, and Anna was awesome in the bake sale contest, and I'm honored to share the title of Iron Baker with her. And the crazy 2 weeks of preparation just before the ACF competition not too long ago made me realize I was missing out on some terrific people in night class. I just can't believe how fast the time has gone by. It kind of makes me sad that it's come to an end so fast, but I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to come back for another year. I'll be spending another 150 hours driving to and from school and putting almost another 5,000 miles on my car. I want to thank all of the chefs for their support, my fellow students for a lot of learning experiences and a ton of memories. For those of you that are also returning next year, I'm sure it will be as quick of a ride as this was, and I'm looking forward to it. No matter which direction you're headed, good luck and thanks. It's been fun.
Once again, welcome family, friends, advisory committee, faculty, administration, and the College Board of Education. I have not yet mentioned the people who we are here for, the students who have been with us for the past year, the students who prepared your hors d'oeuvre for you today, the students who will be in the final leg of this journey, their formal education in culinary arts and baking and pastry, off to complete their externships in the field and then become graduates in their chosen profession. I'm copying you, Ed, sorry. We have spoken to all of you about what it takes to be successful in your passion for food and the true reward of mastering this craft. In closing, these are the words we will send you with. Keep these fundamentals in your pocket for the passage that lies ahead. Listen. Remember. Write down. Ask questions. Practice. Be early. Learn the basics. Develop a style. Stay humble. Keep listening. Continue your education. And most importantly, give back to others. Let us now honor our students for their accomplishments. Chef Roberts, Chef Duvall. Devin Barzy. George Brocklesby. Savannah Brooks. Adam Bush. Congratulations. Tyler Cox. Congratulations. Danny Diltz. Brandon Dowdy. William Engblom. Congratulations. Felicia Ferguson. Congratulations. Dale Fisher. Jeremy Gerard. Ben Grossman. Yep. Ian Hansen. Cora Heath. Sarah James. Congratulations. Diana Jeffs. Congratulations. Josh Johnson. Congratulations. Risa Jose. Congratulations. James Kerr. Warren Kinoff. Oh, I got dissed. Richard Kite. Alan Clausen. Congratulations. John Lundahl. I'm looking forward to that Waffle House someday. Jessica Lufer. Congratulations. Thank you. There you go. Amanda McCarley. Andrew McKinney. Ashley Melkor. Devin Nelson. Trent Parker. We won't ask. Dylan Peden. Cody Pereira. Dejanay Phillips. Megan Pinches. Congratulations. John Pope. Nathaniel Radford. Jonathan Ryan. Where's your neckerchief? Oh. Corey Schwartz. Congratulations. Jennifer Severson. Congratulations. Irina Shalashova. Victoria Shore. Congratulations. Andrew Sperlin. Congratulations. Gordon Stefanik. Congratulations. Angelina Sullivan. Congratulations. Ronald Thiel. Mr. Thiel, thank you. Matthew Villa. Clade Ward.
Thank you, Chef.
Congratulations. Mr. David Young. And his better half, Amanda Young. Yes. Those are our culinary students. Now we're going to start with baking and pastry. Rebecca Allen. Congratulations. Yay. Jackie Beavers. Congratulations. Lauren Becker. Congratulations. Charlie Blaine. Autumn Blood. You're very welcome. Jackie Brissell. Congratulations. Katrina Campbell. Samantha Caves.
I'll see you next year.
Yep. Sarah Childs. Congratulations. Kelsey Clark. Congratulations. Justin Cook. Cookie.
That's number 2, big man.
What Justin is referring to is he is one of, I think, 4 or 5 students here who are working on completing their second degree. They came back from culinary and did baking and pastries, so we will recognize them in a little while. Dina DiCecco. Congratulations. Here's another one of those second-year students, Mr. Christopher Diltz. Emily DePari. Alice Fry. Danielle Gonzalez. Another second-year graduate, or close to, Crystal Grimm. Christine Helmers. Jessica Hernandez. Congratulations. Mary Huberry. Congratulations. Alexandra Katzman. Congratulations. Sky Kelly. Congratulations. Victoria Kraus. Jenna Launer. Congratulations. Annapurna Nichols. Kyra Peachy. Ashley Peterson. Congratulations. Chloe Pook. Congratulations. Sarah Smith. Samantha Springer. Congratulations. Felicia Thompson. Congratulations. Kevin Thurko. Stacy Whittinger. Congratulations. And last but not least, of course, Frank Whitley. Congratulations, sir. Sure. Thank you. As I said before, I'd like to recognize the students that are completing their second year. Could they stand up for me? Thank you. And next year there'll be a lot more of you standing up, which I am very proud of, and I know that all of our instructors are too. That means that I think we have close to 22 students coming back. Who's coming back? Stand up. All right. Thank you. In the culinary field, and as we preach and harp and talk and try to impress that's very important for our profession to all of our students is attendance. If you're not there, it ain't going to get cooked. We have a list of students throughout this year who have perfect attendance. We would like to honor them right now. Matthew Villa. Congratulations. Yes. And for a reward for that, we had some knives from our knife company donated and some pastry equipment donated for those students in Bake-In Pastries. So we want to reward them with that and remember that they had perfect attendance. Mr. Dale Fisher.
Thank you, Seth.
Congratulations. Jessica Lufer. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Irina Shalashova. Not at all. Chef Powers, Chef Ujay. Sarah Smith. Congratulations. Autumn Blood. Congratulations. Rebecca Allen. Jenna Launer. Congratulations. Samantha Springer. Jackie Brissell. Congratulations. One thing I would like to ask all you students is to please put on your coats. And also, pay attention to our next speaker, Dr. Stephen Crittlebaugh, where this school OCCI would not be here without his support and vision. He's going to say a few words, and as I said, walk slow back over because we need to get over there and get the food out. Thank you, Steve.
Well, is this a celebration or what? Let's have some joy in this room. You know, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today to recognize and share in the accomplishments of these students behind me in the culinary programs at the Oregon Coast Culinary Institute. I'd like to share with the students, and you've heard them about 2 or 3 times already this morning, some things as an old man that I've learned that will help you move through your life. Have integrity in everything that you do. Integrity is a little bit like being pregnant. You cannot be a little bit pregnant. And you cannot have a little bit of integrity. From the service and the preparation of the food that you do to how you treat others means some things. Integrity means that those that you work with and that you love can trust your behavior and your word. Be kind to others. Treat all people with dignity and respect. And that includes yourself. I think one of the greatest failures that we have in our society today is that there are so many people with low self-esteem and self-destructive behavior. Work hard and be persistent. A lot of people think that you have to be smart to be successful, but I can tell you, I know a lot of people that are geniuses that have a lousy personal life and a lousy professional life. If you work hard and you're persistent at what you do, you will be successful. Finally, just about everybody has mentioned this, leave something on the table as you pass through life from the others that are going to come behind you and that are going to come and follow you. The generosity of spirit and your wealth will help to make all those that come after you successful. Finally, let me say this day is a joyful day for me. It was 10 years ago that the concept of the Oregon Coast Culinary Institute was first brought up, and a lot has happened since then. But these students behind me are the culmination of the dream that so many of us at this institution have had. And I've never been able to do this before because I've been retired for 4 years. But I want to personally tell the people that work at OCCI how much I respect them, how much I appreciate what they do for the students and for this wonderful, wonderful institution. All of them have contributed in some way to your success and the success of this school. And that's the chefs, Tom Roberts, Nelda, Ujay, Tina, and the director of the program, Sean Hanlon. I hope that you students come back and visit with your teachers and your fellow students and to share your success in both your profession and your personal lives. Again, I'm honored to be here today, and again, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, I'm proud of you and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone. Please welcome, stand, students, please. Here's your soon-to-be graduating class of 2009. No, don't throw them. Okay, we're going to head over really quick, so let us out first so we can get the food out.